Okay, folks, we are going to review today how to research for our argument papers. So, I want to show you guys a few tools that you have online to make your research experience a lot easier and also go over the assignment that we're going to complete along with our research. So, if you go to the December 3rd and 4th link on your Canvas and open that up, then it has a walkthrough of how to access a lot of the sources, particularly the online library.uen.org. That's going to be your best friend as you do your research. So if you follow this pathway, if you're at home using this, then the username and password are right here to get into your online library from home. And then follow this pathway. Okay, so you're going to go to Gale Reference Collection High School, and then you're going to click on opposing viewpoints. So let's go ahead and follow that pathway now. So I'm at onlinelibrary.uen.org. I'm going to click on Gale Reference Collection High School, and then Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints. So hopefully you have already sent me your argument topic if you were at home, or you've already told me in class if you're in class. So you should have already chosen your argument topic at this point. Most of you probably chose your argument topic from this section right here. And so we'll open that up. And this will be the best place to find your argument sources for your paper. However, let me go ahead and show you what you'll want to do if you decide to venture out of the safe little world here and go on to the World Wide Web. Google is a great resource for information, but again, we're looking for reliable information. So let's say my topic is gun control and I just Google it. So it is kind of nice where it pops up here at the top, scholarly article options. That's going to be a lot more reliable if you want to click on that and go that direction. But if you just scroll down and stuff like that, it's going to be harder to know what's reliable or not. Now, news sources should be a little more reliable. Wikipedia is not a great source for actual information. It's a good place to start gathering information, but it's not a good place for initial reliable sources. So be careful there. But as you're scrolling through here, these may or may not be reliable sources. So, sorry, I got distracted. What you'll want to do, instead of just using regular Google, you're going to go to scholar.google.com. This will limit your resources to a lot more reliable initially resources. Okay, so this is going to pull up scholarly articles, books that you can access, different things like that are much more reliable. So if you click on these, then it's going to pull them up and you can see, you can just tell that these sources are a lot more reliable than just regular random Google searches. So that's an option if you're out on the World Wide Web looking for sources. Your best bet, though, for reliable sources is going to be right here on your online library. So let's go ahead and stick with my topic, gun control. So for when I'm in the database, then I can just click here and then go scroll down and I have all of these options. So I have my featured viewpoints, which are kind of the most popular articles about the topic at the time or the most recent. All of these other viewpoints that I can look at. Biographies are sometimes available. Infographics. Infographics are those charts and those statistics and things like that can show you at a glance different numbers and things you might be looking for. Same with the statistics. Images are great. If you guys want to download, infographics or images into your paper to help make it more interesting and more appealing and even better an argument, go ahead and do that. Okay. You've got your audio sources, specific news sources here, magazines, academic journals, and then there are even websites dedicated to these topics. Okay, so you can look at all kinds of interesting information here and pull from that information to support your article or to support your essay that you're writing about the topic. So what I'll do is I'll click through, I'll decide what kind of sources I want to use. I'll click through these and look for sources that are going to be helpful. Now, really quickly, very, very importantly, please pay attention if you haven't been paying attention. You want to create a space in your drive where you can access all of your articles. So go ahead and, go to your drive and then create a new folder and label that folder argument sources. So you're going to click on new folder or English paper or whatever. Okay, so argument, got typos here. Argument sources. Okay, and then I would create that. And I'm going to keep everything all together in that folder. If I'm just accessing things from the regular Google searches, I can just copy and paste the URL up here and put that in my folder that I made. However, if you're on the online database here, you cannot just copy this URL. Do not just copy this URL at the top. You really, really need to use these resources. If you love this article, if you read this and you're like, oh, I love this part of this and that part of this, and I want to use a bunch of this information, then you're going to either send it to your drive and then move it to that folder you made, or email it to yourself and then download it to that folder that you made. So use these right here to save this article. Do not copy and paste this URL at the top. It will not work. Okay? So save it to your drive or email it to yourself. Okay, so let's say I'm reading this, or another really great tool that this website or this database has in particular that will be helpful to you is as I'm reading along and I'm like, oh, I really, really like this statement right here. I want to use this as a quote in my essay. I'm going to highlight it, and when I highlight it, this little box pops up. So I can actually highlight the text and make a note. So use in paragraph 2. Then I can save that. And then when I email it to myself or save it to my drive, this will show up on my document in my drive. So that's really, really useful as a tool. But you have to save it to yourself, send it to yourself. In order for this to show up. It's not going to just stay there unless you send it to yourself. Okay, so use these tools, use these resources as you're doing your research. All right, so what you're going to do is find 5 sources for your essay. You're going to find 5 sources. One of those sources needs to be against your topic. So let me show you what you're going to do for the assignment. So scroll down to argumentation. So ABCs of web literacy, reliable sources. That's what you're going to use to make sure that your sources are reliable. So again, 5 of the source, you need to use 5 sources total. Make sure at least one is opposing you, is on the other side of what you are wanting to argue. Okay, so you're going to click here, make a copy of this in your drive. And then when you find your 5 articles that you want to use, you're going to verify that they are reliable sources. So you're going to answer these questions for each one of your sources. So it looks like a lot of work, but it really isn't too bad. You just have to answer like yes or no on these. Or if it asks who the author is, copy and paste the author's name. Who's the publisher? So let's go ahead and do a few of these as an example. So remember, I'm choosing 5 sources total. So 4 on my side and at least 1 against my side. I could also do 3 on my side and 2 against my side. That would work as well for those of you who want to refute more opposition, but have at least one of the sources be in opposition to what you are arguing. But let's go ahead and I'm going to use this article right here. So the title of this article, I'm just going to copy and paste it really quickly. Oops, I lost one. You can format it to be the same size or not. I don't really care. Leave it big if you want. The article or website link is when you have it, when you're using the Gale in context, don't worry about this. This is if you found it on Google and you can easily just paste the URL right there. Otherwise, you can just leave that blank and that's fine. The more important part is this stuff right here. So remember, we talked about looking at authority, accuracy, bias, content, okay? All of those elements of making sure that things are reliable. So we're going to talk about the author. So find the author. Who is the author of this? So right at the top here, it doesn't really say the author, but if I look at this article commentary, I can see right here, the author is actually Kim Kelly. So I can copy that and paste that there. And then the next part is by what authority does he or she speak? So Kim Kelly is a labor organizer and a journalist focusing on issues of labor, class, and politics in the United States. So I could even copy that, right? So this person knows what he or she is talking about because they have worked in this field. Okay. Who is the publisher? Again, when you're on this scale in context, a lot of times you can't really find, like, was it written specifically for Gale or was it a news resource that they pulled in? Stuff like that. I'm not sure. So I'm going to look around a little bit, but if I can't find anything specific about this was taken from the New York Times or whatever, then I'm going to go ahead and just put Gale. Or if I couldn't find anything at all, if I'm online and I don't know, then I would just put unknown. Okay, but we're going to put Gale for this one. So it's okay if you can't find the information, just make sure to make an effort. Make an effort to find the information. If you can't find it, then just put unknown. What's the relationship between the author and the publisher? Okay, this is kind of unknown because Gale isn't really a resource that would have a relationship with the author. So again, not all the time are you going to be able to find the answer. Can you verify the background and or factual information the author uses? So I'm going to, read through here. Okay, so she's got links to outside sources, or at least Gale has created links to the outside sources. So I'm going to click on these and see, okay, do the links work? Do they seem like they're legitimate resources and stuff like that? Okay. So I'm just going to quickly look for this information. I'm going to put a yes or a no on some of these. I'm going to just copy and paste on some of these. So, I don't think there's a bibliography at the end of that one. Stuff like that, right? So you're just going to do your best to find the answers to these questions and just quickly answer them. You don't have to do big old, explanations of anything. Just quickly answer the questions with as much information as you can. And we'll have a couple of class days to work on this, so you don't feel like you have to finish it in like 10 minutes. Go ahead and take some time, really find articles that you feel will be beneficial to you in your paper. Answer these questions about those articles, okay? And then in a couple of class periods, we'll talk about, how to actually start outlining the essays and things like that. But go ahead and use your online library, Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints database to find all this really great information on your topics. And then choose 5 of those sources that you find, save them somewhere safe, okay, in the right way. And, there's the bell. I better let you go. And then fill out this assignment, okay? Make sure to turn it in on Canvas once you are done with it. So it'll have a submission. This is the teacher version, so it doesn't have a submission button, but yours will have a submit assignment button. So turn it in on Canvas once you're done filling it out. Okay. Please email me or let me know if you have any questions. And once again, if you haven't sent me your topic yet, I need to know that so that I can check that off. Okay. Thanks.